right, let's get right into it. We're going to be talking about hip strengthening in part 1 of this series. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the glute med. This muscle is really important for hip stability, knee stability, and single leg weight bearing. So we're going to be talking about a series of exercises. Some of them are going to be harder, some of them are going to be easier. Some of you may already be familiar with them and you just need a quick refresher on technique. So without further ado, let's take a look. All right, so the first exercise I'm going to be going over is called the clamshell. What this does is it isolates the glute med without involving weight bearing or anything else like that. So what we're all going to be doing is you're going to lay down on your side like this. You can use your hand to support your head, whatever is comfortable for you. We want to stack our shoulders, hips, and feet all in a line. Our hips should be a little bit bent like this, and our knees should be at about 45 degrees. From here, we're going to be externally rotating and abducting our hip, which sounds very complicated, but really all you're doing is pulling your knee up, keeping your feet connected. Should have a nice little pause here at the top and down. At the end of a set, you should be feeling a slight burn just at the back of the hip here in the glute. All right, so we're going to want to be doing 3 sets of 15 of this exercise. If you get to the end of a set and you don't feel anything or it doesn't feel hard enough, what you can do is just add a band around the knees. So where I like to put my band is just above the knee, like this. You're going to be doing the exact same thing. Little pause at the top. You should be able to do this with the same amount of control as you did without the band. All right, we're gonna progress clamshells to add in an element of weight bearing here. So we're gonna do sidestepping with a band around the knees. This is also called a monster walk sometimes because it looks a little silly. So how this exercise works is we want to have our hips at 45 degrees like this, a little bit of a bend in the knees. Our knees should be stacked right over our ankles here. What we definitely don't want to see is any caving in of the knee. That's going to disengage our glute med, which is what we're trying to target here. So how it looks from the front is I'm going to get into my position and I'm going to take about 15 steps one way. Then I'm going to reverse it and start taking 15 steps the other way. And I'll just show you quickly from the side what that looks like. So you can see there that I'm holding my hand on my core just to make sure that I'm engaging properly, which is of course important for any exercise we do. So guys, that's the end of the monster walk. That's a good progression to make if clamshells with a band becomes too easy or you're ready to start incorporating it into a more functional based exercise. So the final phase of our glute med strengthening series is going to involve functional and dynamic strength training. What this is going to do is incorporate that activation of our glute med into activities that we do every single day and activities that we do in the gym. So a really good example of a functional exercise is the lunge. So I know this isn't everybody's favorite exercise, but the good news is the more that you strengthen your glute med, the better that it'll feel to do a lunge and the better you'll get at it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you all what we want to see out of our lunge. What we're going to be doing is a forward lunge today. You're going to step forward, make sure that the knee tracks right through the second toe here and drop the hips down evenly like this. We want to make sure that our hips aren't twisting at all, and that's where this activation becomes really important because then we're not going to be getting this big torque at our knee, which doesn't feel very good. And then once you're in good position all the way down at the bottom, you're just going to push off that leading foot back to a regular standing position. So a really good prescription for a lunge, again, it's kind of based off of how strong you are, how long you've been training, all those things. But once you get pretty good at doing those monster walks, you should be able to get at least about 8 per side, and that's what we're looking for, again, with at least 3 sets of them. So I'll go ahead and show you a few in succession now. All right, so that's the lunge. So today we went over the clamshell, the monster walk, and of course lunges. So whether it's first thing in the morning, if you want to take a break at the office or adding it to your nighttime routine, give these variations a try, and they can definitely help improve all of those back symptoms that we talked about earlier.